Hey guys, James here with Water for Business Solutions. And last week we talked about how to find good employees and where you could go to find some potential good new hires, kind of some practices or best practices there to have a good pipeline of employees. And one of the things that we talked about there was benefits. And benefits really are one of the best ways to attract decent employees and more so retain employees. Offering a good benefits package can really set you apart in the industry because it's not something a lot of companies do. And more importantly, it's something that can help your employees be more successful and have them be happier working with you because they have less financial worries when it comes to different types of benefits offered. And one of the biggest benefits that is offered, and one of the first ones we normally see a client offer, is going to be health insurance. So this week we wanted to talk about whether you should offer health insurance to your employees. Health insurance is one of the first benefits that we'll see a lot of people offer. And when we're looking to consider offering that, the first question we're really going to want to look at or consider talking about is the size of your company. If you're a one-man show or even a 2 or 3 person show, offering health insurance may not be fiscally responsible or financially feasible for you to do in the first place. It might be something that you just do not have enough funds to offer that benefit, nor you may not be able to apply or even get normal health insurance. You'd have to go through a kind of different route. So a lot of times what we'll see with smaller companies, 1 to maybe 5 person companies, we'll see a lot of times more like an HRA, a health reimbursement account, where you set up a plan where you can reimburse employees for health spending, whether that be for insurance or other qualified medical expenses that they submit. That is something that you can legally set up, and it's something that can, just like health insurance, be a pre-tax deduction, meaning that that is a benefit they're getting without having to worry about paying taxes on it. So for smaller companies, that's something that we regularly see and would honestly kind of recommend is looking at more of an HRA solution instead of a full-on group health benefit plan there. It's going to be more consistent on money. It's going to be a lot easier on you because at that point you're saying, I'm willing to reimburse up to X amount per month, whether that be $100, $200, $500, but you set that baseline for all employees. You don't have any variance or anything like that. You don't have any differences or anything going on with your employees based off of age, based off of gender, based off of prior medical conditions where their health insurance may be more expensive, so you're paying more for that. And HRA is just a good, this is the max that you're going to be spending, so it's a little bit easier to kind of budget for all of that when we are looking at and working with employees there. So definitely one area to start with if you're even considering health insurance. Also, depending on the size of your company, it could be honestly cheaper to get health insurance through the marketplace or through other means rather than a group health plan. Through the marketplace, just make sure you're being careful and putting in your correct income so that any of those credits and the tax credits that you get there are properly allocated to you, so it doesn't affect how much in taxes you're owing at the end of the year if they claw back any credits. So often we see people apply for insurance on the marketplace. They don't accurately note what their income is, their AGI, all of that stuff. And then at the end of the year, their income's much higher than what they said. And at the end of the year, they have to pay in a bunch of extra taxes to reimburse for those tax credits that you receive from the health insurance marketplace. So do be cautious of that. There are also other health insurance plans out there where it's not quite a true group health plan like you would traditionally see, but it's a more communal health plan, more like a co-op where you have options for multiple different insurances, and it's not just your company applying for this, it's a bunch of different companies. They're shopped all together. This can help keep rates down a little bit for, again, smaller companies, because a lot of times a group health plan, finding a solid group health plan for less than 5 participants is not going to be too easy, and it's also going to be decently difficult. There are programs out there like Allstate and Aflac, and Simply Insure, that those are some ways that you can get some group health benefits for smaller companies. But a lot of times, even with those companies, they will have smaller plans, or they will have these co-op plans that also kind of exist. Now, the big thing when you think health insurance is generally going to be a traditional group health insurance plan where the company applies. This is the plan they offer. You may only offer 1 or 2 options, maybe 3 options, depending on your size. It depends on the carrier. It depends on your state as to how many options you can kind of provide here. Some carriers will only let you offer 2 options if you've only got less than 10 people, but that's all going to be something that you'd want to talk with a benefits coordinator on. With these group health plans, that is what your employees have to select from. They either take that plan or they leave it. If they leave it, it's no cost to you at all because they're not getting a health benefit. If they take it, then you're going to have some type of agreement on how much you're paying for health insurance here. And this varies company by company and state by state. Some states require certain amounts of coverage. Other states don't require this at all, depending on the size of your company. Keep in mind, if we're dealing with larger companies here, we're not talking like small companies under 50 employees, but we're getting up into the 50 to 100 plus employee range. There might be some state and or federal legal requirements for offering insurance here, so do keep that one in mind. But for our smaller companies here, when we are looking at health insurance, it's going to be a situation of what are the benefits that you want to offer. It might be that you cover 10%, might be that you cover 20%, you may only cover the employee, you may cover the employee and spouse. That's kind of up to you as long as it's legal within the state. Now, most common we see companies are going to cover 50% of the employee's health insurance, generally at minimum. Some will go higher, some may go a little bit lower, some may go ahead and offer coverage of the spouse or of the dependents, the children, if they have them. That's really kind of up to the company as to what they're willing to do, and obviously up to you as the company owner as to what you're willing to do there. But if you want to do kind of a minimum standard, that's going to be 50% coverage under the employee there. So that's definitely a good thing to kind of start with there. Now, the issue with group health insurance is the price for that health insurance is going to be different for each and every employee. It's not going to be, oh, it's $100 a month for each employee. It's going to be based off of their age, their gender, any prior medical history, anything like that. They could have a higher insurance. So if you've got a younger set of employees, they may only be costing $200, $300, $400 a month in insurance. And if you're covering 50% of that, that's $200 a month coming out of you. But if you've got an older set of employees that are 40s, 50s even, and especially as you get older than that, the insurance will be higher. Whereas it might be $400 for younger employees, it could be $600, $700, $800 when we start getting into employees in their 50s and 60s. If you're still covering 50% there, now we're talking, instead of $200, we're talking $300, $400 that you're covering there. So there's a lot less, hey, this is the specific number that you're looking at here with everything. So that is something you definitely have to keep in mind when we are talking group health insurance, is the health insurance offered here is going to be highly, highly, highly dependent on each and every singular employee. So you can't say, oh, I'm going to offer health insurance and it'll cost $200 for me to add this employee on. You've got to take in a lot more factors there and work with your insurance company and your broker to go ahead and get that insurance figured out there. So that's one big thing to keep in mind here. As far as offering it and whether you can offer it, because whether you should offer it, if your employees are going to use it, or if you've got a good way to market to employees and see employees working with you there, you definitely should look at offering it to employees. But whether you can afford it is a different question. And that question comes down to, what are your current labor metrics? Do you know how much of your sales income is going to paying employees? If you're paying employees 45% of your income currently, you don't have additional funds to go towards offering health insurance and other benefits. You've got to grow the company to bring in more income with the same amount of labor to get that metric down. Now, if you're maxing out at 33% and you think you can get a little bit more, because most home service businesses shouldn't see a labor metric over 33% for all labor, direct and indirect, then you may want to consider that. Depending on how many employees you have and age ranges, it may not be a huge increase in what you're paying in payroll there, and it could be just a nice little feather in their cap or nice little benefit for them there. Now, if you're substantially under and you're looking at 20-25% levels, absolutely go ahead and take a look at offering that health insurance to your employees. But you've got to know what your labor metric is and have solid financial understanding to make sure it is a smart decision and a smart investment for you to go ahead and look into paying for that health insurance there. So that's going to be a big one there. Outside of health insurance, depending on your state, you might have other health benefits. If Aflac services your state, you've got hospital insurance that could be offered. You've got disability, short-term and long-term disability, cancer insurance, different things like that, that not even a standard insurance, but these are kind of ancillary insurances that maybe you don't offer a straight up health insurance. You go with one of those options because they are less expensive, and you cover 50 or 100% of that because it's still a benefit, but it is a little bit of a cheaper, a little less money out of your pocket type benefit. So that's another thing that you can look at with kind of health benefits if you want to go more non-traditional route. While it may not cover their annual physical type thing or little things like that, it could still help if they end up in the ER, kind of covering some of that stuff there. So definitely a good thing to potentially consider there. Hopefully this was useful for you guys. And if you have questions or want to better understand your labor metric, this is something we work with every single client to know every single month so that their financials, they're aware of this, they can make sure that they are regularly keeping on top of this and keeping their finances in order. Feel free to contact us here at Waterford Business Solutions by giving us a call at 864-351-0852 or emailing us at info@waterfordbusiness.com, and we'd be happy to talk with you on what your labor metric may be, how we can help you better understand that, set up direct versus indirect breakdowns, everything like that. And if you found this video useful and want more videos and information just like this, go ahead and subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell icon there to get notified, because we put out videos just like this every single Monday to help you understand different business and financial aspects. Also, go ahead and share this video, leave a comment. Any engagement helps this video reach more people that can use the information just like you.